Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of How Did This Get Booked? I, of course, am your host, Jake Manning, and I'm a veteran of the professional wrestling business for over a decade, and I have held every single job except selling popcorn. I'm joined, as always, and only today, by my good friend, Zane Riley. Zane, are we still friends after today?
I was going to say, you're pushing it with that good friend shit right about now. I mean, I don't want to, defriend you on your own podcast. Because I'm out after this. This is the end for me.
This one definitely was the one that made me realize, what the fuck are we doing on this podcast?
Yep.
I mean, let's just jump right, because it's just you and me today, because it's pro wrestlers in mainstream media, and we read Solo, and we don't want to alienate anybody.
We're running out of comedians and friends.
Yeah, exactly. We can only subject a small amount of people to the type of punishment. And I'm glad we didn't put anybody through today's topic. And when we picked this movie, I was thinking, we didn't really do it'd be a nice holiday thing. I'm kind of more in the Christmas mood this year than
I noticed you had a tree and some lights, and I don't assume that was your doing.
No, there was a little kicking and screaming. There was a bit of compromise to get a 6-foot tall
tree. Oh, there was
tree.
Supposed to be more.
Well, there was discussion of what we should do and how we should do it. Basically, all I did was I bought a tree. It was decorated by my wonderful girlfriend, and she got tired of the Charlie Brown tree. I was perfectly fine putting up the Charlie Brown tree again, but
no, she wasn't having it.
She wanted a 6-foot tall tree. So like I said, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. I don't know if I have low testosterone.
It's like you're off the coffee, you're on the tea.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Like I see Christmas lights there, I get nostalgic. So I was like, well, let's do a Christmas movie for the podcast. And obviously,
and you chose this.
Well, and you think of like Christmas movies, pro wrestlers. It's only one or two. It's either Santa's sleigh or the topic of discussion today, Santa with muscles.
Maybe we go back. Can we just wrap this right now and then go watch Santa's sleigh in your living room, and we'll come right back and do this?
Well, I feel like after we subjected ourselves to this movie,
we owe it to someone.
Let's get into some of the particulars, and they're pretty mind-boggling to me. Most notably, this movie was released in theaters on November 8th, 1996.
This made it to a theater?
This was in a theater.
Did you have what it came out the same week as?
Ooh, I should have done that.
Man, all right, well.
Actually, no. Gosh, it was in the notes what it came out with. I can't think of what it was.
I'll see if I can find it while we go.
You find that out while I give out some of the particulars. Most notably, the fact that the box office debut weekend was $120,000.
No, $120.
Almost.
10 people saw it.
In Hollywood terms, yes, it was $120 for sure. And then it grossed $220 after 2 weeks. It's
$220.
$220 and its total 2-week run in the theaters. IMDb rates it at their bottom rated movies.
2.4.
2.4. Yeah, but it's rated number 80 on their bottom rated movies. So out of the worst 100 rated movies,
it's number 80.
It's number 80. But we were talking before we got on here. It's pretty a star-studded lineup.
Jesus Christ, right?
Of people that are on this movie. Most notably, the man who plays Lenny is Don Stark from That 70s Show. He's Donna's father. Also, Also, he is in Josie's favorite movie, Switchblade Sisters.
Well, wouldn't he be?
Which is a Jack Hill classic, and Jack Hill was the director of Foxy Brown and Coffee and all those blaxploitation movies in the 70s that were fun to watch. But so obviously Don Stark is no naive person when it comes to shitty movies. He's been in a few.
He's one or two.
And of course the young girl who is playing Sarah is Mila Kunis, also from That 70s Show. And in a quote in an interview, she said that she didn't know who Hulk Hogan was. She just knew that he was just some big, nice guy. So, also, too, I should note that the actor that's playing Taylor was Adam Wiley, who was in Picket Fences. One of my favorite characters.
I kept thinking he was in the Torkelsons for some reason.
No,
he's not in the Torkelsons.
But he was definitely in Gilmore Girls.
Oh, good.
So, Clayton was played by Garrett Morris, a SNL original cast member, one of the more forgotten original cast members. Leslie was played by Robin Curtis, who you might recognize not just from Star Trek 3 and 4, but also from Tag Team with Jesse the Body Ventura, which leads me to believe, I wonder if Robin Curtis in her career was like, you know what? I'm going to try this thing. It's Santa with Muscles. It's a holiday Christmas movie. I'm going to try it. I hope this goes better than that pilot I filmed with those two professional wrestlers.
Those other nerds.
I wonder who they're going to book in this Christmas movie I'm doing. And she's, fuck, another wrestler? Another thing that nobody's going to see? Fucking big fucking whammy. You know? Or I also have a dream that, you know, Robert Curtis, during Hulk Hogan's acting scenes, that she probably leaned over and be like, hey, Piper could do it better.
Oh, man. Okay. Hey, it'd be a completely different movie if Jesse Ventura was...
I think a better movie.
Yeah.
I totally... I think Roddy would, like I said, I'm still conflicted on whether Roddy is a good actor or not. I think he had a good director for They Live, but when he doesn't have a good director, he doesn't know what he's doing. But I think Jesse's great in everything he's ever fucking done, ever, including Run for Governor. But Elizabeth is played by Aria Noel Curzon. She's a voice actor from Land Before Time. She's pretty famous that way. And of course, we have some heavy hitters in Ed Begley Jr. and Clint Howard. So.
Clint Howard for sure.
Oh yeah, Clint Howard doing his best Clint Howard-ish thing. Also, too, this movie is directed by John Marlowski. He also directed another Christmas movie entitled Richie Rich's Christmas Wish. So this, I think that's, he didn't learn his lesson the first time. Now, when we get to the writers, this is the interesting part of it. The top credit for the writer's credit is a guy by the name of Jonathan Bond, which his main
John Bond
is his main credit in his career is that he played the water slide attendant from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It does. Like, for a movie like this, if you told me that, you know, the guy who, you know, wrote this thing, he's the water slide attendant from a movie. Oh, okay, so he's basically an extra with lines. Yeah. That's how this movie got made.
Cool.
But actually, the original author of this script, since his script was changed so much, he sued to take his name off of this movie.
Aww.
He was going to get, like, writer's credit.
For?
He didn't want to be associated with it.
Why are you angry?
What it became. The other writer that was credited was also mostly a casting director, which probably explains why we got such great talent as far as actors in here. Is one of the writers is a casting director of actually some pretty decent stuff. But yeah, if you told me that an extra from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure wrote this, I'm like, yeah, that kind of explains some of the writing, which we'll get into.
Seems legit.
Also, too, this is a fun fact right here. The executive producer on this movie is Jordan Belford, which may sound familiar because that is the real-life Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh.
The guy that Leonardo DiCaprio was playing in the movie, that is a real guy, and that was the executive producer on this movie. But the real hero of this entire movie, and I had to look it up, and this is what I had to figure out who this person is, because this person is the person that basically allowed this movie to be out in the ether, and that is Mary Ann Valdez, or Valds, I think her name is. Mary Ann, I'm sorry I messed up your name. But anyways, Mary Ann, she is Hulk Hogan's personal hairstylist.
Oh, good.
She is.
So she's the blame.
She's the true hero of this entire
the real MVP of this movie.
Exactly.
So nothing came out in theaters the same week, but the movies in November that were released around it was set up to fail, Jake.
Set up to fail?
Set It Off with Queen Latifah and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Okay.
Ransom with Mel Gibson. The Crucible. 101 Dalmatians. Romeo and Juliet. Space Jam.
He went up against fucking Space
Yeah.
Jam?
And I was kind of reading as I was going through Jingle All the Way, which was so bad. The only reason it got such good reviews is because it went up against Santa with Muscles.
Yes.
As holiday movies.
I heard that somebody said that Arnold Schwarzenegger looked like Laurence Olivier compared to Hulk Hogan.
I'm in. I believe it.
That
I'm
might
on board.
That might have been Jesse the Body Ventura saying that.
Now, if he would have been casted in it, Santa with boa and muscles. Oh man.
Oh Jesus Christ! I'm a goddamn Santa coming in.
I don't buy it.
I don't buy it.
There we go. We got that unraveled.
Lakeville. I grew up there when I was a child. I grew up in California. Can't you tell by my accent?
Bunch of places to hide.
Rule 27.
Oh, fuck yeah. Those rules. All right, let's get her going.
Okay. Intro starts with the voiceover that has a ton of exposition to kind of set the scene of what we got going on. And then we cut to Hulk Hogan just kind of creeping into the bushes. And the way it's edited, it looks like he's creeping in the bushes outside the orphanage.
That's backyard.
Yeah, it turns out it's like his backyard, and like he's got like a Desert Storm fatigues on, which makes me think that he is a war veteran with PTSD.
Yeah, I thought we were going right from the get-go, like, oh, he's already fucking people up, that's the exposition, let's get it in.
Mm-hmm. Not the case,
nope.
But he's actually a rich dick who's trying to stay in shape.
Storming his own house,
and he does it by having people, that are stereotypical Asians and Mexicans that know karate.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if we know anything about Mexicans, they know karate.
This guy strikes me as the kind of man that would use the N-word.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, there are people like that are doing yellowface, but I don't think that people know what like Asians look like.
No, because one of those guys is Hawaiian, and he's got nunchucks.
Yeah.
It's not to say that Hawaiian people can't use nunchucks as a primary weapon.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not stereotypical known. Like, Hawaiian people aren't known to have, like, a pineapple and nunchucks in both hands,
And then we have, like, an Italian chef has plates, using serving dishes as weapons, and a Hispanic man with a weed eater.
Oh, and at that end, when they hold the weed eater, and you can hear it running, but they have it so close to his face, like, shouldn't it be fucking up his face?
Should be the wind from that weed eater should be at least fucking with his hair.
Yeah, it should have been doing.
I don't know how much you paid for that hair.
There is so much ADR in this movie too. Like, I think this whole thing is ADR.
Yeah, this is just drawn. This is an animated thing they're just gonna put together at the end. All green screen. They just put Hulk Hogan's head in there whenever they can.
Hence why probably the main girl became a voice actor. So because of all my ADR work on Santa with Muscles, I'm used to talking into a microphone.
I can do this.
This is not a problem. It's also not a problem for Hulk Hogan to come up with a massive amount of rules.
386. 387. Fuck this movie. Don't lend a hand. You might need one.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about these rules for a second, okay? Let's
start with number one. Let's get all of them in. We got time.
Well, let's just talk about the ones that let's just have it. Was 386 was never mix business with pleasure. You came up with that many rules already, and now you get to that one.
Yeah.
How did you become successful?
You didn't even make that one up.
Yeah,
that's not even your rule.
That's not even your
rule. That shit's been there for a while. It's been there a minute.
Yeah. That's something you've gotten through 386 and you never had a rule that covers that specific thing?
At least in some loose, verbiage.
You have a successful, supplement company, and you haven't learned that?
Which, to show you, it just means that meatheads in 96 were fucking stupid.
Yeah.
That's a good rule. That's a good rule.
And also, too, rule number 20, never surrender.
I think Jesse Ventura came up with that one.
Okay, I thought he came up with rule number 47. I ain't got time to bleed. I thought that was his.
Not to be confused with 87. If it bleeds, we can kill it.
And then, of course, rule 21, when in doubt, get out. I like how we had this big, the comic thing of the really high, strange number, and then this really random number. But then the next rule is number 21.
Yeah.
Now we're going to follow in succession.
Yeah. Come on.
Like, shouldn't it have been like, when in doubt, get out? Shouldn't that have been rule like number 47?
Yeah,
like, have some fun.
Back in ends.
The variety. I'm like, oh, no. Just keep with the continuity here.
Yeah.
Like,
guys, let's not get too weird about it. We're not trying to be funny.
Yeah, we're not trying to get
It's a serious thing.
But I like how it took 6 minutes and about 50 seconds for Hulk Hogan to finally don his trademark do-rag.
Yeah.
That was probably the day that Marianne was like, listen, I can't fucking put this fake hair on his head any goddamn more.
I can't work miracles, Hulk.
And like,
sorry, Terry.
It's like, we need this shot with him driving the Hummer. I'm like, well, just put a fucking do-rag on him. We don't have time. We don't have time. We're losing the light.
Yeah.
Just put a do-rag on him.
We'll ADR hair if we need to.
Yeah, we'll just CGI.
This doesn't go over CGI that hair.
Well, then they're like, oh crap, we're using all the CGI budget for the end when the church falls down.
Well, good thing we got these bandanas.
But yeah, Hulk Hogan is playing a crazy billionaire.
A real cocksucker of a billionaire.
God, what an asshole. And just basically plays these war games and paintball thing, and he's avoiding the cops and running away from the cops.
Yeah.
In a heated police chase.
And then jumps out his own car to leave his buddy to figure it the fuck out.
Just as a Hummer, just rolling through Main Street.
Didn't he quote a rule as he was doing it? When in doubt, get out, and then bye, bub. He just hops out.
I like that they show the guy getting okay. I'll just climb over.
Yeah, like he is not concerned whatsoever.
And the thing is,
I would be losing my goddamn mind.
But the thing is, he crawled over to take the wheel of the Hummer so nonchalantly.
Yeah, like
this is
what's his name? What's his name in this movie?
Blake.
Oh, Blake's being Blake again.
Just I'll just hop. I feel like this is. You think like, somebody probably watching this in 96, like, come on, a crazy billionaire that's all super jacked. But now we live in a world where Jeff Bezos looks like a serial killer.
Yeah.
So
this makes sense.
That's the thing. This movie makes more sense now. Now that we know Jeff Bezos exists.
So you're saying this movie holds up?
This movie holds up.
It's before its time, is what you're saying.
Listen, there are certain things about this movie that I feel like, this could be a good movie. there are you could pitch this movie to be a good movie.
Yeah,
I guarantee it. Like if you had like J.K. Simmons, playing this, but he's kind of doing a Jeff Bezos type thing. As jacked as he is right now, being Commissioner Gordon. But if he was playing Sand with Muscles, I would buy a ticket to go see that movie. So.
If Hulk Hogan was JYD in this movie, in this day and time, he would have been shot immediately.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my God. The white privilege in this movie is exponential.
All the more reason why this movie holds up.
Yeah, here we are.
All the more reasons. A crazy white billionaire running away from the cops and...
That shit really happens.
But... they do pull out a rocket launcher at the end.
I mean, you gotta learn from your mistakes. That's a rule.
That might be excessive force right there.
When you're going up against Hulk Hogan, I don't think it is.
Yeah,
whom is also Santa.
Yeah, but the thing is, when they pull out that rocket launcher, you got to keep in mind the time period. This is before the mass militarization of police forces, because this is pre North Hollywood shootout, which is when was the catalyst for all that to happen. When those guys walked in with those AR-15s and everything else, and like, well, fuck, the cops are outgunned.
Yeah,
and then like, well, we need a Hummer now, like,
a rocket launcher. So the fact that Lakeville Police Department had a rocket launcher in 1996, and they had trusted it was someone like Clint Howard.
Yeah, 1998. Maybe we can believe it, but this is a little bit before the time. That's why I think there's elements to this movie that holds up. Militarization of the police.
This movie had it ahead of time.
The treatment of rich assholes with the police. All those things.
Orphanages going out of business because rich people are buying it.
All makes sense. It's all, and also to the push for clean energy. We'll get to that. we're jumping all over the place.
That's a liberal agenda that we're not really trying to get into.
There is a little bit of undertone with that, and I'll get that when we get there. But we go to Mr. Frost stealing Christmas trees, torturing store owners to get them to sell, and they're torturing a shoe store owner. But here's the thing: we're Santa, and then we cut to a guy being kidnapped and tortured. So you assume that's going to be the guy who's supposed to play Santa, since you saw Mr. Frost like stealing people's Christmas trees, but no, it's just some shoe store.
Just some dude.
So
who they let him keep his briefcase though during the whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But now I think I really need this briefcase.
Yeah, I don't think they did that at Guantanamo.
No, you don't get to keep your personal effects.
No, you don't. You don't do that.
You'll see Steve Perkins getting shook down holding his briefcase.
Yeah, you don't keep your briefcase when you're being tortured. I believe. I know for sure they don't protect that in the Geneva Convention.
I looked it over.
I looked it over. Oh, I looked over many things. We'll get into that. I did. I probably watched more research about some of the science of this movie than anything. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so leads to the question: what the fuck happened to this mall Santa?
Did he just not show up? Like I figured somebody would have a story.
There wasn't even a story that he was drunk. There was what the fuck happened to him? Like it'd make it far more sense if like he was kidnapped by Mr. Frost, or I don't know if that was a cutscene,
or just a drunk.
Yeah, why can't you just have some guy sitting like passed out drunk with
when
a Santa
Hulk
hat?
runs in to evade the police? He could have found a passed out drunk Santa and thinks, well, I'm white, I'll just steal his clothes. And that's how we get there.
Why couldn't you just have Greg the Hammer Valentine sitting over in a corner?
Because that'd have been too true to life.
That's how you get your buddy a cameo.
Yeah. It could have been Brutus. I'm not going to pick, it's whoever they want to be.
Listen, it'd be better than Brutus doing Yellowface.
Well, I don't know about that. Or like Brian Knobs could be.
Brian Knobs would have been perfect.
Just a fat fuck and a fake beard already.
All he had to do was just be hunched over, and they would just assume, oh, he's drunk.
Yeah,
He's just sleeping.
Like, Hulk would run by, he would see that, he would take that, he would run off. Cops would run by, there's Brian Knobs in just like a pair of heart-shaped boxers and a wife beater. Then they put two and two together after that little altercation moment later. Oh, it's just Santa. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Two and two together. Wait a minute. Santa didn't even show up to work. Mm-hmm. The guy didn't even come.
Yeah.
There's a whole other story as to where he's at.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's not resolved. Nope. That's not resolved at all.
Maybe they'll catch that in part 2.
I don't know.
Santa with muscles, and it's like 2 Santas.
And the mall manager who was looking for Santa, so she gave the $50 whoever. She looked familiar, but it turns out I didn't see her or anything. And I'll tell you why I didn't see her or anything else.
She died after this?
Oh, listen to him.
Listen to me. It's getting dark.
Her name, the actress's name who played the mall manager was Bridget Michelle. She actually trained for the Olympics in ice skating, but had to end her ice skating career because of a knee injury. And according to IMDb, this is a direct quote from the website. It said, she said Santa with Muscles was her last movie, and from then on, she seemed to have retired from acting.
Well, I mean...
Surprise!
Yeah. If you're a cop, you kill a man. And that shit hits you real hard. Sometimes that's your last duty.
If you're on the set with Santa with Muscles, and your dream is to be an actor, does this crush your dreams?
Yeah, because you know what? I think I've done all I can do here.
And the thing is, like, she was training for the Olympics, and, like, that was taken away from her.
And I know what I'll do.
She got a part in a movie with Hulk Hogan, and once again, her dreams were taken from her.
What is she's doing now? Hanging from something?
Oh, you're awful. Just like the villains, or the baddies in this, which, let's go back to the torture scene, where they introduce some of the henchmen. Yeah. In this movie, where they have a geologist, because nothing's more terrifying than a geologist.
Which is a kind of a typecast, because he played the same thing in Biodome.
Okay, all right, same guy. And then we had a chemist. Yeah.
With weird teeth thing.
Weird teeth. And then Miss Watt, who is played by Diane Robin
Keaton.
Yeah, it's Michael Keaton's wife. Michael Keaton's wife. This is prior to that. She was like up and coming. Michael Keaton's a big fan of Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, you know,
because he grew up in the Pittsburgh area. He was actually a long time Bruno Sammartino fan, and then Hulk Hogan gave the torch passed to him. Yeah. And used to watch all the shows in Allentown as well too.
That's how he met.
He was on the set of Santa with Muscles. He was like, "Hey, I just got done being the best Batman of all time." Yeah. And he goes,
"Still today. Also, still holds up."
Saw Diane Rodman. Like, "Hey, are you in this movie?" She's like, "Yeah, I play Miss Watt." And he goes, "Ha!
I get it.
You want to get married?"
Yeah. She's like, "Yup.
Yep. Get me out of here." But you might also recognize her from RoboCop. She was one of the prostitutes that was with Miguel Ferreira.
Ooh.
When Red from That 70s Show walked in and said, "Bitches leave."
So we need more of that. So those 70s Show people, they're getting around.
That's what led me down this rabbit hole of trying to see the connection of That 70s Show and this movie.
Which would still work, especially with Danny Masterson in the news these days.
Yep. So I was trying to find a connection to everybody, and the fact that you have Clint Howard in, and then
there's a whole bunch.
So Clint Howard links you to Ron Howard. So you could definitely do like a multiple degree separation of Santa with Muscles and That 70s Show.
Oh, of course.
You can loop it all back around.
Really to anything.
Yeah, and not even use just the cast members that pop up, like not a connection through Don Stark, but through different connections you can get to it. And also too, you have The Rock on That 70s Show, so that Hulk Hogan that connects connects everybody directly anyway. Man, there's such an overlap.
That guy that put all the Adam Sandler movies in one universe, that guy was a shit compared to this.
Mm-hmm. But we get to Hulk Hogan being the mall Santa.
One second back. Okay. So we talk about the geologist, and he blows that stuff in the dude's face.
Yes.
He said that was methane gas. Like, he basically blew farts in this dude's face, right?
That would be the chemist. The chemist.
Yeah.
Because the geologist was putting the little dust that you little.
Oh, that's right. He blew it.
Yeah.
And then, so basically, just blew a fart in his face as means of torture.
Yeah.
Fart torture. Forture. Okay, I'm going to put that out there in the world. Okay. He blew a fart in his face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, why don't you just have Miss Watt sit on his face?
Yeah.
That's kind of...
hey, whoa! That's a whole different kind of movie.
Yeah.
It's a way better movie. That's electrifying. And then, bah! Diane Keaton getting married again. All right. So now Santa's...
Hulk Hogan... Dressed up like a mall Santa, the cops run into him, yada yada. Lenny the elf finds him. Hulk Hogan gets hit in the head multiple times and forget who he is.
Because amnesia's just real.
Yeah, because CTE is the thing. Once again, movie ahead of its time.
And?
Ahead of its time.
Where's Will Smith in this?
Yeah, well, where's Mrs. Hogan? Anyway? She needs to stay away. So, yeah, Lenny finds him, and I don't know what Lenny's motivation is necessarily. Like I get that he's trying to steal money from him. Like he should get the cash, but like fingerprint ATMs,
man, that's like not even a thing. It wasn't a thing then.
Yeah,
not even a thing now, which would be way better. That or you'd have a lot more people missing thumbs.
Yeah,
two thumbs, because we find out later.
Yeah,
can't just be any willy-nilly thumb.
No. It has to be the right thumb. And
it's got to be your bull.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's weird. But then they just wheel Hulk out because he needs the $50. So I understand that motivation. Hulk goes out there, sits down as Santa. They steal some.
So
money.
does he need the $50 to pay that original scientist?
Well, what was the debt? It was like a lot of money. It was like $1,000.
Well, because like he was on the phone and he hangs up, and that's when where's Santa? I got $50. It switches over to the torture scene. So maybe he owes those people the money, and that's why you have that weird segue. Not because that guy would be Santa, but because Lenny owes that guy that money.
No, he owes, I think, Mr. Frost money, or his associates.
Yeah.
Or the Mr. Blythe.
Yeah.
I think it was like thousands of dollars. But like when he finds Hulk's wallet, it only has $150 in it.
Yeah. Well, that's why he wants to go. He knows who Hulk is already. He already knows who the guy is.
Yeah, but the thing is, well, because he opens up the wallet. That's the bigger problem of this whole goddamn movie. Blake Thorne, a guy who puts his face on all of his products and demands it to be bigger, who's such an unabashed billionaire who lives literally up the road from Lakeville. And there are times in this movie where people are like, I have no fucking clue who you are.
Well, I mean, you trying to tell me that Lenny's a body guy? I'm sure Lenny's never come across his products.
But...
More so.
But like a crazy billionaire, if you live just up the fucking road. Like if Dale Earnhardt Jr. walked into a room, we would all know who the fuck he is. And he wears a helmet half the fucking time he's on camera. Like, we know what he looks like. Cause we know what Richard Petty looks like. Because his face is on products everywhere when he shows up on TV. He lives just down the fucking road. Like... We would know who Richard Petty is if he rolled in. If Richard Petty rolled in, had amnesia, and like, I'm Santa Claus now, I don't know who I am. We're like, no, you're fucking Richard Petty. Go back home to Kannapolis. Like,
all right, man, bye.
You're like, oh yeah, that's right. Turn left. But no, like that's what I understand. There are times where people know exactly who he is and not who he is. But like Lenny, like has to open up the wall and be like, oh. This guy, like...
Duh, money!
How would he recognize him from a name? And the thing is, too, like, people don't read words on a product. If anything, you would connect his face more than the words. Like, if you saw, like, the image of a guy posing and stuff like that, like the Joe Weider thing, like, you would connect the thing with the Joe Weider, you know what I'm saying? Like, the logo.
Yeah.
Not, like, who's that guy, you know? Like, oh, I would recognize that logo from this. That's the thing. There are times where basically what I'm saying is Blake Thorne's... anonymity is very similar to James Bond because there are times,
just be a witty person.
Because there are times in James Bond, especially Roger Moore's era, where everybody knows like, oh, you're super spy James Bond, and then there are times where he's posing as my name is St. John Smythe, and I'm a French industrialist. I am looking to buy a horse from you, Max Horn. Like, and they're like, oh, hello, Sid and Smythe. And then there's times later in that movie, like, oh, it's James Bond, the super spy, the world. Duh. Like, oh, and that's basically what Blake Thorne is this entire time. And yeah, I don't understand it. And like. How lawless this town is. It's like...
They give up real easy. Like, if this was Grand Theft Auto, there'd have been 4 stars involved easy. There'd have been some FBI trucks called in.
Oh, yeah. Just ridiculous.
You'd have had to getting that Hummer painted to get away from the cops.
Yeah. But it's just like... You know who he is. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, that's Blake Thorne's Hummer. Let's just go up to his big goddamn
we'll just
mansion.
wait him out.
Let's just go up the fucking hill where his fucking mansion is that overlooks this entire fucking town and go arrest him.
Just hang out, wait for him to come home.
Yeah. But anyways, he finally gets to the orphanage. He still doesn't know who he is. And here's where I have a problem with the writing, where they're like...
Oh, right now? Like, this is when it kicked in?
No, when they're like, what's your name? And he goes, well, you can call me... And they kind of give him a little wink and a little nod, like, you can call me Santa. Don't you say Mr. Claus? You know what I'm saying? Isn't that the little nod?
Well, that would be a pretentious, like, you know...
Oh, you know, you can call me Mr. Claus.
Call me by my first name, man.
Like, are you Santa? What's your name? Oh, I'm Mr. Claus. That's how you...
Whatever, I would rewrite this.
Whatever, I'm done. Whatever. But I still don't know why, when he goes to the children's mission, I don't know why Lenny is still hanging out with him.
Well, because he has to have the buddy. He has to have the comic relief.
I know, but like, what his motivation is like...
Oh, because he needs to get that fingerprint to go to the ATM. Okay, he's got to get that money.
Okay, so he's basically, he's holding him hostage a little bit.
In reverse.
Okay.
He doesn't know he's being held hostage.
All right.
So he's just in an abusive relationship, really.
But why is he having him around other people? Like, he's got to figure out a way to get a thumbprint, you know, something. Like, he's...
the time will come. He knows that. But he's got to stick with him so he can get the money.
Okay, well...
He can't just give up. Like, I'll just find another...
He didn't figure out the glass trick until, like, the next morning. So he just has this big muscular guy who may or may not remember who the fuck he is, and then wonder where the fuck his wallet is. That only has $150 in it, but he's a crazy billionaire.
Well, I don't know what $150 was in '96. So I remember.
Well, that could have been like $300 or whatever. Okay. But like at most. But like, shouldn't he have like thousands?
I think he's just playing the long con. Well, no, because it's all on card. It's all on a card.
Okay, but I just
assumedly. I mean, we don't know. He might not. He might only have $150.
But I don't know why you're taking him around more people that might recognize who the fuck he is.
Which they do.
Yeah. But that's the even weirder thing. We find out later.
We're not there yet.
We're not yet there. Okay, we'll get to that. We'll get to that when we get to it.
So is this a statue of Christopher Columbus that they tear down?
I don't fucking know.
I think it was a statue of Christopher Columbus.
But they're in California.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm waiting for you to.
No, I know. It's. I mean, he got it wrong the first time. It would not be surprising that Christopher Columbus is somehow in California. But mine is like, why is this the statue of Christopher Columbus?
He was trying to find a trade route to India, and he got really fucking off.
You know how hard it is to push a boat across a landmass?
It was Christopher Columbus's later works that people forget about. He got all the way to the West Coast.
He got into Manifest Destiny and kind of made his way out west because God told him to. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was just real weird. We have this statue here. They ripped down at this point.
Yeah.
Because that's why there's the chain, and Hulk reels in a truck.
Yeah. Because that's what always happens. When you have a wrestler in a movie, no matter how big or how small he is, he's got to be able to lift stuff.
So this evil genius has all these cronies, and he's got bukus of money. Uh-huh. Why does he have a small ice cream truck as their mode of transportation?
No fucking clue.
Come on, Ed. You get this shit together.
I've got more answers. Oh, because he's Mr. Frost.
Fuck me.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah.
Well,
there's another edition.
I can't answer the Christopher Columbus.
Yeah, but I got you here on that.
I got you there.
Yeah, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. Anyways, they sleep overnight in the mission.
Which, would not go today.
No, not.
Would not work out.
Also, too, they talked about how they got most of the children's homes except these kids.
These fucking losers.
And they say that in front of the fucking kids.
You want to hear about it?
Real fucking ass. And the thing is, too, like, children's mission, they're trying to get funding for it, but it sounds like the mission is almost complete.
Yeah, the mission's about done.
You just gotta find homes for, like, 3 more kids.
Yeah. You can do that in the day you have left, or 3 days.
If like, how many kids were living here? But you found homes for everybody else, but these are your last 3. So, okay, all we gotta do is find the last 3, and then they can close this down, whatever. What?
Which, the mission would be part of a full-on church.
Yeah.
Because that's just how missions work. You never see a priest or anything at any point. Or a governing body that holds together a church.
Well, you don't see the fucking drunk Santa.
Well, Greg the Hammer Valentine could have been that.
Yeah.
He could have been the priest. Could have been Honky Tonk Man with that slick hair.
Oh, yeah. Honky would have been great in that spot.
So that's weird. I don't know.
Okay.
I think there'd be more government play involved here, but whatever.
Yeah, but it's casting. It costs more money.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Clayton just says something weird in the time where he says, "I'm proud you made something of yourself." Which comes out of left field, makes you think there's a cut scene, but that will be explained a little bit later.
It comes back.
But I gotta put that little chestnut right
But then
there.
Lenny starts to realize, oh shit, the jig may be up. I need to hurry up.
Is that was the subtext you were getting?
Yes.
Because
he's getting wrapped in the garland and stuff, and he makes that statement, and then Hulk starts to think about it, and then Lenny's like, oh shit. Mm-hmm. And then was that take us to breakfast? And then that's where he gets the glass?
Yeah, he sees the thumbprint. Yeah. And then he fights the bad guys who clearly see his face now.
Yeah.
Clearly.
No. Which I love that these kids believe that this shitty beard was a real beard.
Yeah.
When there's, like, ear straps.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid. No wonder no one adopted these kids. They're dumb.
They couldn't...
They don't deserve homes.
They couldn't pass the Santa Turing test.
Yeah.
Where you couldn't tell if there was a real Santa or not.
Come on, kids.
But
this has all been a test the whole time.
But I will say this, though. Mila Kunis is acting.
Uh-huh.
Far best actor in this entire...
Of the whole movie.
Of the whole movie. the best, for sure. But yeah, I don't know why these henchmen don't recognize, oh, this is Blake Thorne, the fucking guy with the fucking...
He lives right over... He lives next door to Mr. Frost.
Yeah.
They live in the same gated community.
Exactly. Like, I don't understand. And then, they throw the statue head through the window. Taylor wants to get revenge to go over to Mr. Frost's place. That's where Hulk figures out the big master plan. Mm. And they come out and they figure out, like, what's going on. Oh, also, too, this is where he's like, they start talking about Santa. There's another time where they bring up Santa rules.
No.
But here's another part of the fucking problem of the writing I have. Okay, like, if you want to show character growth, okay, and you're talking about Santa rules, when this other character had all these fucking, like, slogans for his rules, shouldn't those earlier rules come up as contradictions to these new things of personal growth? Like, shouldn't he have a, Blake Thorne rule? Blake Thorne rule number 58, an eye for an eye, always get revenge.
Yeah.
And then when you get to this point where Taylor's like, I want to knock his window out like he knocked our window out, and he said, no, you don't do that. You always take the high road. That's a Santa rule.
Yeah.
There should be some conflict.
Yeah,
but they don't fucking do that.
No, that'd be real good. That'd be real good. Don't lend a hand, you may need one. And his Santa rule would be, always lend a hand, you may need one.
Exactly. Like, shouldn't it be that? Like,
look, we got an hour and a half, all right?
Okay. Well, we're already at the halfway point of this. We're 40 minutes in this podcast, which is about where we're at in the fucking movie.
Yeah, we're going real good on actual real time. We could have watched this and talked about it as it occurred.
Yeah, this could have been a commentary towards it.
Yes.
Finally, they figure out there might be something underneath the church. They go down the clubhouse underneath the church. Real skull and crossbones shit going on.
George W. Bush was there.
Jerking off into a coffin. Like, really fucked up.
Two white dudes just docking dick tips just because that's what brothers do, telling each other truths.
And you figure out the combination to a safe, and then when they say 8, 24, 16, all of a sudden Hulk's like, oh, yeah, I know the rest of this.
But, like, there's not numbers on the wheel. Like, he's just remembering, like, what the locations of a high school locker lock.
Well, maybe this was during the time when safes were much like clocks, where they didn't have numbers on them. They just had the little dot at the top.
You said this looks about right. Fuck it.
Remember that time in the 90s and 80s when they had the clocks with the no numbers on it? Like the stylistic clock?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe this is the safe version.
This is a stylistic safe that's been down here for centuries, it would lead you to believe.
Yeah, and you can't figure out...
What does that say about the church? What was going on in that church initially? To where they needed a vault that led to that room.
Missionaries, Spanish...
Oh, man. Knights Templar!
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, there we go. Bring that back around.
There you go. Originally, that's where they kept the Grail, or whatever.
But actually, what they kept in there were crystals.
Bunch of fucking hippies.
That fucking explode when you drop them.
You know. Or light up if you hit a certain pitch.
Mm-hmm. This was the exact moment where I was like, what the fuck what movie is this? Is this fantasy?
Yeah.
Is this comedy? What the fuck is going on here?
Is this a drama? Because I'm feeling bad about these kids.
But the idea of these crystals, and Mila Kunis comes up and explains this.
Listen, bitches.
Because thank God she is there.
Yeah.
Not only is she the best actor, she's the best scientist.
Because they would not lead you to believe that there's like any type of schooling for these children.
Well, and that's the thing too, is like, she knows about piezoelectricity because this is a real fucking thing.
Yeah.
About crystals. But it's not about so much vibrations as it is mechanical stress on an item. Because I watched a TED Talk on this.
Yes, well, please. I mean, as you do.
There is a theory about piezoelectricity, which comes from Peter Curie, who is the brother of Mary Curie.
Yeah.
The idea of taking crystals and putting pressure on them, that it generates electricity. A perfect example of that is a cigarette lighter. They'll push down, that creates a little spark that causes the flame to come up. That is piezoelectricity. And there is a theory of getting renewable energy by taking these creating crystal plates and putting them underneath pavement and concrete, so when we put pressure, when we drive on cars or walk, that it creates renewable energy, and then we can power our cities.
Yeah.
Which I feel like this story and this part of the plot is why Ed Begley Jr. signed on to do this, because Ed Begley Jr. is a large proponent of green energy.
Yeah.
I think that's probably why they landed him. It was like, hey, we're going to put this in here.
It's like, I think they had like a completely different direction they were going, and they're like, hey, Beggs, will you do this movie? He's like, only if.
only if we, or this was the thing that lured him in or attracted him to the project. Like, oh, we're going to get this out into the world. So
this is an eco movie, and they're like, sure, fuck it, why not?
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's what they sold him on. Like, we're going to bring up this new form of renewable energy that's out there that's different than solar and everything else. And he's like, sure, people need to know about piezoelectricity. We need to put plates underneath of our pavement, and we start harnessing the force that we put into the world that just dissipates out. And we use it to turn electricity.
And we got the biggest wrestler in the world on board. He's going to get it out there in the sports world. I'm going to get it out here in the acting world. Man, we're going to turn this country around.
I feel like that's a noble thing, and then he's just doing these scenes independent. He probably filmed most of his scenes in like a couple of days.
Yeah. But a day.
But here's the thing.
Just a bunch of him on the phone and then a sword fight.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Yelling doesn't create that pressure.
No,
it doesn't. And you need pressure.
Verbal pressure?
No, none of that.
I don't know if that was on the TED Talk. No.
So,
who gave the TED Talk?
But exploding, the TED Talk...
Ed Begley Jr.?
No. 16-year-old from Dubai.
Of course he did. Why wouldn't he?
So, of course.
How you doing, guys? America, we're stupid.
Yep.
Listen to this kid talk about crystals and how it's going to power the world.
Yeah.
He's a child.
Renewable energy.
He's a virgin, but goddamn is he smart.
Mm-hmm. It was a nice little TED Talk. 6 minutes. Very easily digestible.
Maybe I'll get on that then, because I need 6 minutes.
Look up piezoelectricity.
Sure will.
I did for half an hour during the middle of this movie.
Which is why it's going to kind of start getting a little quicker here, because we didn't watch the middle of the movie, really.
Well, I feel like, that's the thing, like, none of these lines were memorable. It was just words that they said to move to the next scene. Yeah. But then, like, something like these fucking crystal things would pop up. So it'd be like white noise, and then something batshit crazy would happen. Like, wait, what the fuck did I just miss?
Whoa, how'd it get here?
How did we fucking get here?
Oh, we just got here, that's all.
And especially at this point in time, like, wait, with this, I thought I was just fucking tuning this movie out. Oh, I have to fucking pay attention because we got to this. How'd we get to this? And then I would rewind back. I'm like, oh, there was no point to this.
No, there was no. We just got here.
We just fucking dropped this.
We just took that left at Albuquerque, and here we are.
Yeah, just fucking out of nowhere. But anyways,
there's like 20 minutes of like footage that's missing from this movie that makes this all make sense.
Oh, I think
it's just out there in the world.
I think you're giving them way too much.
Yeah.
Finally, Lenny tries to pull Blake aside and shows him his army fatigues they just happened to have on him.
Yeah.
And said that there's blood on it when really it was paintball.
Yeah.
It was clearly not that. Then all of a sudden Lenny gets a cell phone call because I guess reception in 1996 was fucking amazing.
Yeah.
That you can get a cell phone call in a fucking cave. Then... Oh... Dr. Blight shows up and starts to have a fight with Hulk Hogan where he runs to the top of this mission, which shouldn't have Dr. Blight have seen Halloween Havoc 1995. That doesn't turn out well.
That's not how this works.
But he ended up turning the tables and pushing Hulk off.
Yeah.
So this is like Hulk doing the job, you know, returning the favor, you know?
Yep. Look, I'll do it on pay-per-view. We'll let someone else do it in theater.
Which, by the way, to let you know, we were talking about what movies were going on at this time. At this time in Hulk Hogan's career, this is not too far away from the big heel turn.
Oh.
So Hulk Hogan is the hottest thing in professional wrestling at this moment in time now.
And only 120 people. Only $112 were made at this movie.
A few weeks before this movie was released, he had main evented Halloween Havoc with Macho Man Randy Savage in a very heated feud. Like, they did a lot of work. I remember that the build-up for that match was really good, and I wanted to buy that pay-per-view because it was... I might have even bought it, to be really quite honest. I was very interested in Macho Man versus Hulk Hogan. But, Hulk is the hottest thing in professional wrestling at this moment in time right now, and he couldn't muster more than $120.
$120. Every wrestling fan in that town went.
But I gotta say this, the camera work... Like, they were using some sort of steady cam for this, and especially this chase scene and moving around the tower, and then that crane shot up into the tower. Mm-hmm. Fucking great.
Yeah.
Like, I saw that and go, what the fuck is this camera work doing in this fucking movie, especially right now in this ridiculous fucking scene?
How do we have this good camera work, this good cast of characters, and such a shit movie?
I promise you, the guy who did the camera work on this did an episode of Game of Thrones. He had a future. He was probably like a 17-year-old kid. It worked for a DP, and they're like, I don't feel like doing this movie. You want to do it? Sure, I'm 17. I don't know much about cameras. Yeah. Turns out he's a virtuoso.
Yeah, this is great. He could give a TED Talk at that age about camera work.
Yeah. And then he gets hit on the head. He calls the mission, but they had it wired from his address where he called. So they knew who Blake Thorne is now.
Yeah.
Or I don't.
Well, the black dude knew the whole time.
But like the bad guys knew it was Blake Thorne the whole time. Why didn't they, when they first encountered him, like, hey, Blake Thorne? Like,
hold on. What if? Okay, let's take a step back,
please.
So, at the beginning of the movie, we see how he acts around his hired staff.
Yes.
What if this is something that occurs every month or so? Blake Thorne is just a fucking psycho and he gets amnesia all the time and goes on these small town adventures for himself. So everyone is accustomed to this. Like Ed Begley Jr., who was his best friend as a kid, just always like, God damn it, it's doing it again. All right, everybody, get your rolls. So he's just so rich that every month he just makes everyone pretend they're some part of some big heist moment.
Even these henchmen.
Yeah, everybody. Everybody's in on it, and that's why they know where he lives.
But why would the kids and the missionary people and Lenny even give a fuck?
Because he's paying the whole town. He's rich. Everybody's getting money. Everybody plays their part in the play.
Then why are they closing all this stuff down?
Because they're really not. That is part of the game. What I want to do is I want you to pretend like you're buying up all this property. I'm going to get amnesia. Why would he fight his own people? He's staying in shape all the way around. I think he's choreographed this entire thing because he's that much of an egomaniac. And he does this often. That's why they know.
Well, obviously amnesia is something that happens a fucking lot.
Well, I don't think he really had amnesia. I think he was just playing the part of the amnesic person. Because they know that's what he does every month. It's December. Oh shit, there's a Halloween theme this month. Everybody get ready for Blake to come through.
But if I get really punched in the face, shouldn't you be like, Blake, stop, you win, I give up. But no, you're throwing him off a fucking building, then obviously Mr. Blythe ain't gonna get the fucking money.
Because you're making that money.
Whatever.
There's probably a crash pad down there.
There had to be, because he ain't making it to the fucking road from the trajectory. He fell off that fucking tower. Never mind. I'm not gonna... We finally move on. I think Mr. Frost comes into the fucking mission, and Merry Christmas to all, and to all... He just says Merry Christmas to all.
Yeah.
He doesn't go, and to all, insert pun.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the time where the villain inserts a pun. But he did. He just like, Merry Christmas to all.
All right, guys, bye.
All right. You're fucked. They take the orphanage. But yeah. And basically they taunt Blake. Like, they have what they want, and they decide to call up Blake and taunt him like, hey, we got this. Ha ha ha. You don't know what you're doing. Ha. Like, and you never taunt a rich guy.
Yeah.
Because they'll end up running for president.
So you can't do it. And sure enough, whole world's going to hell.
So, like...
How much does everybody have to pay to listen to this podcast here soon?
That's a real question.
Get your ISPs, guys.
Yep. So, this is... Well, let's run through. We get to Brutus Barbeau Case and Yellowface as credited sumo lab assistant.
Come
on. Blake then gathers all his troops and start riding in. The cops chase after him. They refer to him as a terrorist, which maybe if we just wait for the Patriot Act to come into effect, then you can detain Blake without any legal counsel whatsoever,
yeah.
And then you can handle this properly. We got another whole...
But he uses his own products to evade the police.
Yeah.
Like he dumps out 2 bottles of dressing, which for some reason turns an entire intersection of a street into an oily mess.
Yeah.
And then throws protein powder at them all.
Not even the most egregious thing in this movie.
That checks out.
We went over the rocket launcher part already. Finally, he gets in the orphanage, starts fucking shit up. They shoot a fire extinguisher at a guy in a hazmat suit. Should he sit there laughing? And then they gas him while children laugh. Kind of a disturbing part.
You know, hey, this kid's crazy. Trying to take her home. Fuck him.
He does a crane kick into a pew that knocks out Brutus the Barber Beefcake.
Kung Fu Master.
They they electrocute Miss Watt. Then Clayton,
which is very ironic.
Yeah. Then Clayton pulls Blake aside after he's set free in the middle of this action sequence and lets him know that he's Blake Tarshevsky and that he forgot that. Like, here's the big... You have this big plot twist that doesn't make any fucking sense, and you do it with less than 15 minutes left in the fucking movie. That, oh, by the way, you don't remember your childhood, do you? This is your childhood. And you're friends with Mr. Frost.
Yeah.
Which, you don't fucking know that?
You didn't know that before.
Like,
it would lead you to believe.
You grew up in this town. You just moved up the fucking hill. You forgot. That's like me going back to Preston, Iowa, being a crazy eccentric billionaire, driving into town, fucking shit up, living in the big house on the hill, and then all of a sudden I run into Derek Heyer and be like, Derek Heyer, oh, we grew up together
in an orphanage.
In an orphanage
because we don't have families.
You don't family, but somehow I got super fucking rich. Like,
and we live next door to one another.
And we go to the same country club. And we didn't fucking know. Because don't you think the two rich asshole dudes would know who the fuck they are?
Yeah.
Like, shouldn't they be competing against each other for buying shit up?
Yeah.
Like, I don't fucking know how this happens. And we just do this to have an emotional connection between the villains? Like, you just throw that shit in there? Like, what the fuck is going on? But then we get to these crystals that explode when you drop them.
Yeah.
Oh, we're using them as fucking swords.
Let's do a sword fight with them. That seems legit.
I don't even fucking know what's going on anymore. So he just has amnesia all the fucking time. Yeah. But the thing is, like, I don't know why Frost is getting these crystals, because he's trying to corner the market in renewable energy. But there's not big money. Like, you would have a monopoly and you'd set that up, but part of the reason why, because Nikola Tesla had an idea where he could make electricity and it'd be this, everybody could have it. Yeah. And electricity could be this free thing, very similar to the internet, what used to be. And people have access, it'd be free, wide open. And then JP Morgan's like, no, you can't do that because I can't put a meter on it and charge people for it.
Yeah.
Why, as a bad guy, your goal is to get renewable energy?
Because he's not the bad guy. He is actually, in turn, the good guy here. And Hulk is fucking all this up. Wait. So, yeah, he's trying to get rid of this orphanage, but in the long run, I mean, you gotta break some eggs and make an omelet.
Which brings me to my question. At the end, everything gets resolved. They blow up the fucking church. They blow up the budget for the CGI.
They blow up renewable resources.
Because all of the fighting causes the vibration for it to just fucking explode.
Mm-hmm.
But then the cops show up, who have been chasing Blake Thorne for 2 days now. 2 days. It's like 3 days out from Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas should be like the next day.
So December 20th, this shit goes down, and...
Yeah, so they roll up, and they just arrest Frost and his cronies. But they don't put any handcuffs on Blake. My question is, this is the biggest question I have, and that's saying a lot for this fucking movie.
Because that insinuates that you have answers to some things.
What charges are you bringing up against Mr. Frost?
Hasn't done anything.
Yeah, because Mr. Blythe and his crew, you could kidnapping, false imprisonment, criminal mischief, trespassing.
Yeah.
The only thing really is Mr. Frost is maybe trespassing, assault with a deadly weapon, but he can claim that he was threatened by known threat, Santa with muscles.
Yep.
Thus,
so this was self-defense.
This was self-defense. Okay? And the thing is, he didn't do the actual kidnapping. Mm-mm. Okay? He had his henchmen do it, so he's very much in a Charles Manson situation.
So, accessory? Or mastermind? Is that a thing?
I don't know. Criminal mastermind? If that's the case, so why aren't a bunch of billionaires already in jail?
Well, you see the way the world works today, Jake.
Why is the head of Verizon in jail right now?
Keep an eye out for my TED Talk. I talk all about it.
Okay. But the thing is, though, no handcuffs are put on Blake, who had an attack on a police officer. Evading. Reckless driving. Destruction of public property. Like, multiple
infractions.
Yeah, more so than anybody else in this movie.
Good to go.
Good to go and fine. And then the big happy fade out ending is what we're going to do with these kids. And since the mission's gone, let's just set up shop at Mr. Frost's house. I love
Not his own house.
Yeah, that's the thing. The charitable thing, the good happy ending is you go to Blake's house, but Blake's like, nah, I don't want these fucking kids, these snot-nosed kids in my fucking house. Then all of a sudden, why are all these fucking orphans popped up out of nowhere? Keep in mind, this movie started with 3 days before Christmas. Mm-hmm. Now, we have moved to basically, I would assume, Christmas Day. Mm-hmm. And those kids are running around. So in the and basically the church fell down the day before Christmas, or 2 days before. Either way, it makes a difference. So in that time, in a matter of 2 day span, you have locked up Frost and his henchmen in prison. Mm-hmm. You have already seized his house. And the orphan population has grown exponentially.
Due process is not a thing, and these fucking weebles here have multiplied.
Yeah, that is what's fucking happened in a matter of 2 days. And then shouldn't also Blake be arrested for trespassing on Mr. Frost's grounds?
Well, yeah. You can't just give somebody a home.
This is a story of a rich asshole beating the system. That's all this is.
Oh shit! I had something. I think I just forgot it. It's kind of whatever though. It's kind of moot.
You had amnesia?
Yeah,
you had amnesia.
I'm Santa.
Oh, you're
Zane with muscles.
So I got to act like a Guido too?
Yeah, man. Go ahead, please. By all means.
Hey, I'm Dan in here.
Hey.
I'm Dan in here.
They never really. There's no payoff to Lenny trying to steal his fingerprint. Like after the whole, you need the right thumb. Left thumb. Was there any more payoff to that?
No, there's none of that.
Yeah, just kind of, my one idea fucked up.
The person he owed money to is in jail, so he doesn't have to
Yeah,
pay
it doesn't
back.
matter. Yeah, fuck it.
That's the rules of the streets. No. So
it's cool. It's cool, man.
It's cool. It also works too if the person that owes you money is in jail.
Yeah.
Your debt's forgiven.
That's how it works.
That's how it works.
He has absolutely no more friends. They're all together in jail. I've got 4 people that I know.
But
we're just going to give up. They're done. I wonder what kind of jail time they got.
Yeah. Like, it's got to be short because...
they haven't really done anything.
No.
At most 5 years for Blythe.
Yeah.
Frost, a couple days, in my opinion.
Unless you're going to do the Charles...
And he would probably plea down and get, like, just some, like, what is it when you have to go do shit for the community? Community service.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pay some fine.
Yeah. Probably like a real big ticket.
Because I'm sure Mr. Frost's lawyer is fantastic.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Probably related to Lenny in some way.
I mean, especially if he's having a geologist just knocking around.
Just hanging out. Like, I got this guy on payroll.
Yeah. I
got a legit rocket scientist over here. Just get it fucking off.
Yeah. But that's the thing I don't understand. Like... I'm trying to put sense in this goddamn movie,
and that's where our downfall is. Probably why it only made $120.
God damn! Like this movie's all over the place. But I will say this: what was cool about it is I remember during the time of this release, like I said, Hulk was the hottest thing going, and he kept talking about how he was getting an Academy Award for Santa with Muscle.
Yeah.
And the thing is, that was like getting actual heat. Like, I like that it was so bad that when Hulk Hogan would talk about how amazing Santa with muscles it was, that it was like, there was that delusional thing that heels do. Like, it added to the character of it.
So is he heel now? Did we switch up on it?
Well, and that's the thing. He walked basically off the set of Santa with Muscles to Bash at the beach to drop the leg on Macho Man.
Yeah.
So, you gotta think that maybe part of some of the deliberation on whether or not he should join the Outsiders came from, hey, if I turn heel, Santa with Muscles box office sales are going to tank. Like, you have to think, that was a thought that was going through his head.
Yeah.
Like, if I turn heel, then Santa with Muscles and I can do well at the box office. Motherfucker, it's not going to do well anyway.
Oh, wait, it didn't do well? Oh, let's go ahead and drop that leg. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't have come out yet.
Yeah.
So he probably was. That was probably a big major consideration whether or not he should turn heel, because he felt like if he turned heel, nobody was going to go see his movie.
Yeah.
But in fact, it's so goddamn awful, anyways. Think if that was the thing that he said, I can't turn heel because I have a movie coming out and it has to make money at the box office, and we didn't have Hollywood Hulk Hogan
because of Santa with Muscles.
that is a real possibility. I promise you.
We could live in a world where Hulk Hogan was still a baby.
Still babyface all the way through. Missed out on all the NWO. The NWO would have lost fucking steam.
Meaning they would have had they got Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Instead of Hogan.
Well, they were gonna put Sting in there. I think that was the backup plan at one point in time. Whether he was gonna be the backup plan, but it wouldn't have been fucking as cool.
No.
And plus, too, you had to delay it.
Because then you would have Hogan in the rafters and crowface paint.
Yeah, but you'd have to delay it. And then, of course, the actual demise of when Hulk wrestled Sting.
Yeah.
And they killed it then. But, like, I'm sure that was a real thought. And I'm sure when it did poorly at the box office, Hulk Hogan might have been so delusional to think, oh, the reason why it did poorly is because I'm a heel and nobody wants to go see my fucking movie.
Yeah. Not that it was a bad movie.
Not that it was a bad movie.
Because it was.
God, it was. God, this was so fucking rough to watch. There's so many fucking... Like, this is the roughest thing we've ever had to fucking watch.
It is pretty bad.
Like, there was a part of me that felt bad that I was watching this on YouTube. Because I want to support art and I don't want to be, pirate things. I don't want to do all of those things. But after watching this goddamn thing, and just... I was like, this deserves... People need to be paid to see this thing. Like...
You should have got the ad revenue that someone got for having to watch this movie.
Jesus, like this was just bad. It was just
terrible.
bad. This was just terrible through and through.
So go out and watch it, guys.
Yeah, go
watch it and be a part of what we had to be a part of.
Yeah,
do yourself a disservice.
Well, in theory, everybody that got to this point in the podcast has seen it.
Yeah, we've done it. We've actually painted it in a better picture than it really is.
Yeah,
we've done more for this movie than Hulk Hogan.
We tried to justify it in real world terms.
Yeah.
Like if you had J.K. Simmons as Jeff Bezos, being Santa with muscles, eccentric billionaire, has amnesia all the time. Apparently.
Always. Ed Begley Jr. could still be Ed Begley Jr.
Yeah, because he's still trying to get out that clean energy with the crystals, but probably sure up the science a little bit. On that.
Lenny would be Kevin Hart.
Yeah, because we need a lot more diversity in here.
Does that mean that Santa is actually The Rock?
No,
let's go back to your guy.
Let's go back to J.K. Simmons. All right, he's jacked as commissioner.
Yeah, that'll work.
Let's stick with him. He's gonna pull off an amazing performance. But yeah, Kevin Hart is definitely Lenny. Who else could we cast?
We gotta get some of these kids.
Know how you bring it all back around. The Robin Curtis part had Mila Kunis in it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Bring that full circle.
Oh man, let's go make a movie.
Well, this is what we always try to do. And then you do the Santa rules connected to the Blake's rules.
We actually make that part make sense.
We put in the pun where Merry Christmas to all, and to all a fright night. Or something stupid!
Goldberg Spear, set a sleigh crossover, here we are.
Yeah. Actually get maybe you get Rushif to play Brutus the Barber Beefcake's part.
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Also, in Yellowface.
Oh. Anything else we have to say about this?
Oh, man, we did it. One part we didn't really talk about because it's not that big of a deal, but at the very beginning that I thought was really funny was so when he's letting the kids tell him what they want for Christmas at the beginning.
Yeah.
One of the first girls is a little Asian girl.
Mm-hmm.
And she does her deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then those punks try to steal the money and drop it. And she's the one that catches them. Mm-hmm. But she has gotten back in line to be able to see this occur. So this cunt was trying to go see Santa twice. That was my biggest takeaway from the whole movie, really.
That was the thing you drew most.
Yeah, you paid more. Well, because at the time, like I said, I only paid attention to the beginning and the end.
Well, maybe the director really hates Asians.
Maybe. Look, she's going to be the one that blows the whistle on him, but she's also a piece of shit as well.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Oh, and then he one arm looked at that kid that was fighting with his sister on his lap.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think he actually did that.
I always like feats of strength.
Yeah, I like my Santa to be jacked enough to lift a child by the nape of his neck.
That's the thing. Always in movies, when you get a wrestler in there, they have to be superhuman strong.
Yeah.
More so than real life. If you put Shawn Michaels in a movie, you have to believe the fact that he can lift up a car's back.
Of course. Oh, man. It would have been completely different if Shawn Michaels was in it.
Listen, Shawn Michaels was in an episode of Baywatch where he was a bodyguard.
There you go. Straight-eyed Shawn Michaels or cross-eyed Shawn Michaels?
Straight-eyed.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Straight-eyed.
Then I believe he can do that.
Mm-hmm. Anything else, Zane, before we move on?
No, man, I think we did it.
All right, well, we did it. Before we get out of here, we got a new review on iTunes. Adam Bachler no longer will be said on this podcast, but
I was about to say, I thought he already did one.
He already did one, but I'm giving him an acknowledgement, a send off in a sense, because now Okie Lane,
the old Oakster,
old Oak, left a review, which basically
what is this shit?
No.
Oh no!
This just proves you the review was entitled "Always Like a Top Hat." The entire review says, great second party WrestleCast. So basically what I'm saying is, you folks, you don't have to be Hemingway to leave a review. You can leave something as simple as that, and we will say your name on the podcast till somebody else says another review. So Okie Lane, right now you're riding high. You'll be the name that will be said at the end of this podcast.
I have no goddamn clue what that means.
None. You don't have to make any fucking sense. You can make a...
Oh, wait, no, I think I get it. The WrestleCast is what we do. Our podcast is WrestleCast. Uh-huh. And then, what do you say, second party?
Second party.
This is not original content. Okay. So, like, we've watched something and we're talking about it.
Okay.
Now, if we were to have, like, I guess first party would be, like...
Us sitting down talking about actual shit?
Yeah, like, I guess that had to be a first party. Yeah, like, if we talked about wrestling as it is now...
Okay.
Just in the world. I guess that would be...
We invented original content.
Yeah. Well, we're definitely not.
No.
We're talking about shit that other people fucked up.
We barely do that when we wrestle our own matches.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I guess that is a compliment then. I'll take that.
But he always liked a top hat.
Hey, who doesn't?
Who does?
T-Pain, he does. Mm-hmm. And he's doing pretty well for himself. I think. I haven't heard anything from him in a while. So.
But Okie Lane, you are the name that we will say until we are done. Zane, do you got anything you got to plug? This is coming out this Thursday.
No, not really. I have PWF Hubert for the Tag League in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Completely, insanely innovative tag team tournament. Fans legit draw teams, and then we go to the back and we roll dice for winners and losers, and it's completely up into fate as to who goes on and who wins.
And fate definitely.
Yeah, you have done this before.
This has been your. It was the thing that kickstarted my career.
Yeah.
So.
And then we'll have SuperCon in Miami, and then Queens of Combat, January 20th, double shot.
I'm with you on all of those, but also, too, I must let everybody know that on Friday, January the 5th, in Cornelius, North Carolina, which is Lake Norman, which is just outside of Charlotte by about 15 miles, I will be doing a comedy show where I am the feature performer that night. I'm basically going to do all of the comedy that I've been working on for 3 years, and just basically going to be running my set. And I'm going to shoot for 40 minutes, but it's probably going to be more like 30 minutes. I'm going to try and make it as tight as possible because I want to start going out on the road and getting some more gigs and, see how close and how far away I am from a headlining set, which is probably pretty far, but I think I'm right in the wheelhouse of being a featured act where I can feature for somebody. So I will be doing pretty much all of my comedy January 5th. So anybody that's interested to see how that's been going.
If you've never seen Jake before, come see the anthology.
Yeah, come see the anthology and see me basically run my feature set. You'll see stuff that you may never see ever before again. I'll be taking some stuff out, adding stuff in, all of that. So make sure you show up for that January 5th. Actually, if you go up to the How Did This Get Booked podcast Facebook page, there's a link on where you can go tickets and more information about that show. But also, if we made a mistake, if you got some more gripes about Santa with muscles, I think we covered all of it. But if there's something else that you had a problem with, please let us know. And you can do that by tweeting me at ManscoutManning or email me at jake@sslshow.com. Also, to make sure you log on to howdidthisgetbooked.com. Also, to make sure you subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, YouTube, and SoundCloud. And as always, if you leave a review, we'll say it on air. And right now, Okie Lane, you are sitting in the chair. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been another edition of How Did This Get Booked?
Woo!